Yes, the believers in the Old Testament were saved in that they were looking forward to the coming of Christ, the Messiah. And we read of their stories in the Old Testament. We read the accounts of their lives in the New Testament. Especially I'm thinking of Hebrews chapter 11, that incredible roll call of the faith and the faithful. And whether it was Abraham, who is known as the father of faith, or Jacob or David or any of the great Old Testament heroes, these men and women came to God because they accepted His provision. In the Old Testament, it was a sacrificial system, and their sins were forgiven by great sacrifices that were offered as they looked forward to the coming of the ultimate sacrifice, the complete sacrifice in Jesus Christ. And so just as we are saved by looking back to the cross and what Christ has done for us, Old Testament believers are saved by looking forward to Christ and believing in the Messiah. And God's grace is not only for New Testament believers, but Old Testament believers as well. And the fact is, sometimes I see people talking about the God of the New Testament as being different than the God of the Old Testament. No, the God of the New Testament and the God of the Old Testament is a God of mercy and grace and blessing and healing and favor. Again and again and again, you see in the Old Testament words like favor and the blessing of God. That's salvation. That's God's deliverance upon His people who have trusted in Him. Christ makes it possible. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever, according to Hebrews 13:8.